the Warriors have just destroyed the Western Conference this year. And I know that Kawhi Leonard went down, and I know that the Jazz and Rudy Gobert was 100%, and the Blazers were an amazing team, but you still can't take away that they've started 12-0, which is the best playoff start in NBA history. And the Cavaliers almost just replicated that as well if they didn't lose one game to the Boston Celtics. And Isaiah Thomas-less Boston Celtics. But anyways, so that's the best start in NBA playoff history. When one superstar on the Warriors gets cold, like a Durant got cold, a Curry gets cold, or Thompson, who's actually been pretty cold these playoffs, the other superstars definitely pick it up. There's very low chance that all those superstars will get cold at once. Last year, they had the greatest regular season in NBA history. And then, as LeBron said, they added an MVP to their team. The Warriors vastly changed their team in the offseason. I mean, they lost some key pieces like Harrison Barnes, who's had a season to remember for Mark Cuban. Like, he's become one of the good players in the NBA now. Along with they're losing Bogut, Festus Ezeli, Brandon Rush, Leandro Barbosa, who's one of my favorite players, and Maurice Spates. A lot of these players were key assets coming off the bench in their championship team, and the team that brought them to the championship in the other finals. So, I mean, however, they added some decent role players. Like after Durant's salary was just really, really big, they didn't have that much to add. But I mean, they picked up JaVale McGee, Zaza, David West, Patrick McCaw. They've had some pretty good players this season, and then recently added Matt Barnes, who I think is going to be a pretty big factor this series. On the other side of the spectrum, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the defending champions, they haven't had the best regular season. They've been bested by a number of mediocre teams, and they lost the top seed spot to a much deserving Boston team. However, as soon as the playoffs came around, LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers just kicked into playoff form, completely into high gear, and breezed through the Eastern Conference like the respected Warriors did. They too have lost some key pieces, though, from their championship team, most notably Mozgov and Matthew Dellavedova, who was a very, very big piece. They picked up Deron Williams, which was good, and Kyle Korver in the regular season. That's fine. They've been pretty good. They both started very slow, but they've adjusted into their respective gears and have become a very good part of the Cavaliers' rotation. Now, the Warriors and Cavs' combined playoff record has been 23-1, which is obviously the best in NBA history going to the finals. That's absolutely crazy. I hope these finals is the last of the trilogy, but as I said, it has the potential to be such a great NBA finals that hopefully the rest of the playoffs, which has been very uneventful, will just be a speck in our memories, and we'll remember this NBA playoffs for this incredible final series. Now, someone said in my NBA playoffs predictions video that because the starters get most of the minutes in the playoffs, depth doesn't really matter. And this couldn't be more wrong in my opinion. Like, I remember back to the Cavs and Spurs series in 2013, when in games 2 and 3, Danny Green and Gary Neal just caught absolute fire from behind the three-point line. They shattered finals records and completely turned that series around. I mean, who saw that coming? Or maybe Mike Miller in the finals before that, hitting 7 of 8 from downtown in Game 5 to secure LeBron's first championship. Like, role players in the NBA Finals have been so underrated. And although the superstar power on the both teams this year is the likes that we have never seen before, I think one role player from each team could be a huge factor in shaping the series. Now, if a role player from the Warriors is the one that picks up, I think it could be Ian Clark. Like, although he was undrafted, bounced around the D-League, he has earned himself a rotation in a championship or bust team. And he has glimpses of catching fire from downtown, and when given minutes, he has proved to be a very productive scorer. So I think he could definitely be that one piece from the Warriors that could catch fire and turn the series around. And from the Cavs, it has to be Kyle Korver, because he is either really, really, really hot or really, really, really cold. For some reason, he's never in between. And this will be a huge factor in the result of the series, I'm sure. and he has caused huge playoff problems for LeBron in the past as a member of the Atlanta Hawks, as I remember. So look for either Ian Clark or Kyle Korver to be a huge factor in the series. With the recent talk about LeBron chasing Jordan as James overtook him in playoff points, as well as LeBron's finals record being talked about being damaging if he doesn't win it more than he loses or something like that, LeBron is going to want to put on a huge finals performance this year, I'm sure of it. However, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, and Harrison Barnes are very underrated and could really frustrate LeBron and taunt him into taking stupid shots like what the Spurs did. They always taunted LeBron into taking really hard threes or whatever, and that really took him off his game. If Cleveland wants to win, I'd definitely look towards the recent momentum Kyrie Irving has had in these playoffs. He's been absolutely crazy, and he has definitely become one of the best big game performers in NBA history. Like those big clutch moments in really important games, I would definitely think that Kyrie Irving has earned himself to be one of those really big performers. And although the Cavs are living off second chance points in the Celtics series, the Warriors team could absolutely torture them in transition, and I reckon Tyronn Lue is going to rally his troops back to defense as soon as the shot goes up. Although they have Tristan Thompson, I just really feel like he'll be getting defensive rebounds and they will just make sure they sprint back in transition. So I don't think second chance points, unfortunately, will be such a huge factor, because if they, at the cost of second chance points, the Warriors have so many transition weapons, it's absolutely crazy. Although Warriors have home court advantage, the past 3 years have shown that the home court hasn't been a huge factor like it normally is. So I don't really think that that's going to play a huge effect. But the biggest question for me when I was looking at these finals is how will KD influence the series? The biggest factor from the past 2 years to this year. Although I'm sure many would think Durant will want to show out and put up really big numbers in the biggest stage in the NBA, looking back, KD was never really that showy in the big games in the playoffs. He doesn't put up a ton of shots in the big games. He's been a bit passive. I think that's a really good word to describe it. And I think all KD really cares about in this stage of his career is winning a championship. And I think he's going to make the right plays. He'll be a very important factor in the series, but he's not going to put up huge numbers like an MVP caliber player. But he's going to make the right plays, which I think is even more of a factor. If Golden State shoots the ball efficiently, shoots the ball well, I think they'll win the series in 5 or 6 games. But if Cleveland play good defense, that's half court, transitionally, and close out the Warriors players, stop the fast break, I think Cavs will take it in 6 or 7. And for the sake of this video, I'm predicting the Cavaliers take the series in 7 games. I mean, this has the potential to be one of the greatest finals of all time. I couldn't recommend you guys watch it more, and I hope you enjoy it, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Peace.